I'm the tutor for Investigation of Crime 1A, subject code POLC-IOC 1A. This is an assignment and examination-based contact class details that I'm giving through. To start with, the scope of this whole presentation would be, I'll introduce myself, I'll give you through the aims of the contact class, the structure of the assignment and the continuous assessment calculations that comes with it, and assignment preparation and tips thereof, examination preparation and tips also. And we'll go through to the course outline, just to give you a bit of background, some of the stuff, and then we'll wrap up. Now, to start with, my name is George Jacob. I have a B degree, a BTech degree in forensic investigation that I got through UNISA in 2011. I'm also having relevant experience in law enforcement. I was attached with the Namibian Police Force since 1993. I've completed, during my course, I've stayed with the Namibian Police. I completed the basic police training. I've completed the basic criminal investigation, the specialized criminal investigation courses, also unit commander's course and supervision for warrants. That was until 2004. I have held positions previously with as an investigator in Keetmanshoop area since 94 to 98. I've also held unit commander position with the criminal investigation in Karasburg, investigator, and also the second in command with the motor vehicle theft investigations unit in Windhoek during 1999 and 2000, investigator, as well as the second in command of the serious crime investigations unit, which has been investigating cases throughout the country since 2000 to 2004. I've also ended up as unit commander of the criminal investigation unit in Swakopmund since 2004 up to 2007. I've been sent to the regional headquarters in Erongo region as the staff officer in the Regional Crime Investigation Coordinator's Office, we usually call RCIC, from 2007 to 2013. Also acted at times as the Regional Crime Investigation Coordinator. I have been a guest lecturer at the Police Training College, Israel Patrick Iambo Police Training College, under the Criminal Investigation Training Wing. That was from 1998 to 2002. My current position is at Bank of Namibia with the Financial Intelligence Center as a senior financial analyst to date. Now, secondly, I would like to go straight away to the aims of the contact classes. This is to basically, it is held to prepare you as the student for assignments and examination, and to get you prepared for best possible change to do well. Obviously, we would want you to do well, discuss assignment structures and explain your continuous assessments as well as the examinations. The structure of the assignment will be that you will have 7 main questions. The assignment totals about 120 points. Question 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6, and 7 requires you to summarize, to do summaries, whilst question 3 has sub-questions that includes definitions. Questions are from study. You can get all your answers from the study guide provided by IOL. Question marks ranging between 4 and 25 points. Basically, you will get a question for 4, which you need to give 4 points, and you might get one with 25 points where you have to provide. And you may be expected to discuss, summarize, outline, define, list, and analyze some of during the questions that you may. That's what you should expect in the questioning. With regard to the continuous assessment and calculation of the marks, the inclusion of this continuous assessment and calculation of marks is the presentation is to ensure that your student both the assignment and examination mark seriously and align their studies, your studies accordingly. Continuous assessment per module consists of assignments of 120 marks for modules of 12 credits. 50% continuous assessment mark is required for admission to examination. So even if you, whatever you do, try and see if you can find at least 50% of your mark in order to qualify for admission or to be admitted as for the examination. The duration of the examination for 12 credits is usually 2.5 hours. Written examination of 120 points. Continuous assessment calculation, a final pass mark of 50% is required, calculated by 60% of the examination mark and 40% of the continuous assessment mark. A sub-minimum of 50% must be attained in the examination. So, even if you have attained different marks, you need to have, your mark should reach 50% in order for you to pass. Suppose assignment, for example, suppose the assignment continuous assessment mark is 50, your examination mark is 50. 40% thereof of 50 equals 20. It's calculated by 50 times 40 divided by 100. And similarly, the 60% of 50 is 30. So 50 times 60 divided by 100. Your final mark would then obviously be 50. The setting and marking of the examination papers are moderated. You should know that they are moderated. So what you should be doing is carefully read questions in the assignment before answering. What usually happens is most of you usually look at the first question and start compiling or preparing whatever you do. It would be advised that you carefully read through the questions and see if you may not, if you probably don't see one for the other. Carefully read the topics in the modules to prepare the correct answers. You may find yourself in a position where two modules or two questions may be similar. So carefully read the question and align your answer accordingly. Consult relevant books like the study guides to prepare correct answers. Also consult relevant experienced personnel that may be of assistance in the field of policing. In example, police officers. Yeah, it may be advised that you, once you find something in your books, you may ask police officers in order to acquaint yourself and make sure that it is the right thing that you are doing. But please do not ask police officers to do your assignments for you. You should be doing it yourself. You are not limited to provide answers that strictly relates to the study guide, but your answers should then remain relevant. Attach the correct assignment cover to the assignment to avoid disqualification of your assignment. Most of the time you will find that if you happen to attach the wrong document or assignment cover, your assignment, you will be sent back. So please make sure that you attach the correct assignment cover. Write legibly and very clearly. Number your answers according to the assignment questions. And this is one of the problems that you experience, is that instead of writing the same numbers that has been given to you, I mean, it can only ease your way of working if you write as they are given. For example, if 1.1 and 1.2 is how the questions were marked. 1.1 was 5 points and 1.2 was 3 points. It would be advised that you give them numbering accordingly. You can always sub-number by bullet points or by going 1.1 or 1.2.1, whatever it is. But please make sure that you number them accordingly. It's better. Or number it in such a way that we would be able to, as the person marking, it would be easy for me to mark them and see that you've allocated points. Look at the mark allocation to guide you. most of the time, you should look at the marks that are allocated to a question in order to give you a similar guideline or a guideline as to how many points you are supposed to mention. And please refrain or avoid dumping relevant and irrelevant facts together at the same time, because this may cause you to lose points. What usually would happen is, if you'd give me, instead of 10 points, you give me 20, of which you have some of are not relevant, I may mark the first 10 and leave out the last 10. It is advisable that you don't dump irrelevant facts together with relevant facts. As for the examination preparations, write clearly and legibly. I know it's not always possible, but I mean, you can always try and put up your best handwriting. Structure your answers through headings and numbers and a logical sequence. The same thing that applies to your assignments. It would be advised that you answer your headings through headings and numbering throughout a logical. At times it happens that you have answered the wrong answer, and you would want that answer or complete that as an additional document. Understandable, but please mark them accordingly so that I will be able to see that this question is a 3.2 and not 9.1. Make sure that your student number and all details requested are written correctly on the answer sheet. Write in blue or black ink. You should understand or know that cheating in an examination will result in the failing grade. Serious steps will be taken against any individual who disturbs an examination session. Again, refrain or avoid dumping irrelevant facts together with relevant facts, as you may lose points, as I have explained earlier. What I can guide you as well on with examinations is that there will be instructions on your question paper. No authorized material, notes, technical device may be in your possession when you come into the location where you are writing. Should you be responsible for any irregularities during the writing of the examinations, there will be a few things that will happen to you. The head of examinations or the invigilator will collect your answering script and evidence. You will be requested to write a declaration of the incident as it happened to explain your side. The answering script, evidence, and declaration will be submitted to the irregularity committee for verification. No examination marks will count for that particular subject that you've written. You will be suspended for studies for that particular subject at IOL for 12 months, for 12 months or 2 consecutive examination sessions. It is an infringement of the examination regulations to assist or try to assist someone else, which usually happens is that someone peeps or someone you're giving answers to the second person. And ask another student for assistance is also wrong, and receive assistance from another student or to try to make contact with another student in any way whatsoever. Your cell phone should be switched off. If not, the head of examination will collect your answering sheet and you will not be allowed to complete the examination session. You may not leave the examination room during the first 30 minutes after you've registered for it, or during the last 15 of the examination session. A late arrival of 30 minutes after the starting of the examination will be regarded as no turn up, and you will not be allowed to write during that specific examination session. You are also reminded that the question paper answering sheet book is the property of IOL, so you may not keep it, nor remove pages thereof. Under no circumstances may the question paper answering sheet answer book be removed from the examination room. It will remain there. All question papers, answers sheets, books in your possession must be handed over to the invigilator obviously at the beginning of the session, the exam. Should you need an additional writing pad, ask for the invigilator to give it to you. Answers on any paper will not be considered for marking. So if you want your answers considered, you should put it on the exam document. Rough work may only be done on the question paper or paper provided by the invigilator. You must sign the checklist before leaving the examination room. So please ensure you do that. Smoking and eating in the examination room is prohibited. Do not dive into writing without first reading the question papers. I have already mentioned that. Please read the answers carefully. For questions with 30 marks, for 20 marks, write at least 1.5 pages and more. Not half a page for 20 marks. Students fail to score good marks. Yeah, what happens is, I mean, if you look at your documents or you look at the points allocation, I mean, surely you cannot expect to have 20 points allocated to you if you only write 10 of them. So it's important for you to note that you have 20 points. You should give 20 facts. Now, the course outline. I'm not going to go through each and every of the course outlines or the exit learning outcomes. It's important that you should understand that you'll have to go through your work throughout your whole books in order to prepare for your examinations. So your first exit learning outcome in this subject is vehicle accident scene. You should have some knowledge of the background to the Namibian police mandate, instances when to open a police case, investigation of a vehicle accident, responsibilities of police members on the scenes, the drawing of sketch plans, basic steps in drawing rough sketch plans. How is it drafted? How do you write it? Safety precautions at road traffic checkpoints, you need to have some knowledge about it. Other law enforcement divisions that can attend to road traffic checkpoints, all about road traffic checkpoints. It's important for you to prepare in all the exit learning outcomes. Now, your second exit learning outcome is culpable homicide, unnatural deaths and suicide. Under that, you should be looking at other law enforcement divisions that can attend to road traffic checkpoints. Investigation of a case of culpable homicide, how is it investigated? The same with case of suicide. How are these cases investigated? Your third learning outcome is driving under influence, public indecency, and obstruction of the course of justice. Have some knowledge and prepare the arrest, Section 40 of the Criminal Procedure Act. Section 50 of the Criminal Procedure Act stipulates the procedure that after a person has been arrested, what should happen to him. The arrest, Section 40, as I have earlier said. Section 82 of the Road Traffic Transport Act of 22 stipulates that the driving whilst under the influence of intoxicating liquor or with excessive amount of alcohol in blood breath is an offense. Have some knowledge of Section 37. Obviously, usually you would know that when you are found or you are found that you are under the influence or drunken driving cases opens against you, there needs to be a blood sample taken from you, usually either breathalyzer that you will blow in, but usually bodily features like blood should be taken from you. And Section 37 of the CPA gives you that power to obtain prints and bodily appearance of accused person to any police officer after he has committed an offense. Now, it is important to differentiate and know the various provisions. So, if you look at from Section 40 with the arrest, you need to know these different provisions and differentiate between them. Still with the exit learning outcome 3, Section 1 of the Act defines driver, vehicle, motor vehicle, public road. You should know that. Collection, labeling and marking of blood samples, the public indecency, obstructing the course of justice. It is very important for you to know these definitions because there will be more definitions between these ones. Please know them. But I would like to give you a few tips in conclusion. Please remember, if you give me one fact, you get 1 point out. If you give me 10 facts instead of 20, whilst I'm looking for 20, you'll only get 10. Framework of the exam investigation require that you know and understand all concepts and techniques, because it's, as I've said, know the definitions, differentiate between the different concepts, number your facts or use bullet points. Whatever it is, please make sure that it is clear. Avoid dumping irrelevant facts. I cannot emphasize enough on that. It was found in previous exams that the person either repeats the same stuff or he just dumps irrelevant information. Please avoid that. Marker searching, I mean, obviously the marker will not be searching, or I will not be searching for answers or the correct answers. In example, writing 20 facts instead of 10 may result in only first facts being looked at. Follow the instructions closely. Use your best handwriting. Short questions may be included, so be advised. I'm wishing you the best with your assignment and examination preparations. And remember, do not take anything for granted. Whatever you start, try and finish it. Others may not have the privilege of opportunity that you have. Thank you very much.